The Minnesota Vikings travel to Philadelphia to take on the Eagles today. I got my favorite player prop, spread pick, same game parlay, and then we'll end it with the first touchdown score in this contest. And this is not only one, but we actually have two games on Monday night. So if you want to figure out my best bets for the other one, which is Bills versus Titans, that video was posted just before this one. Go check it out. Another player prop. I actually took an over-under in that one. Another same game parlay and whatnot. You get the gist. If you're new, hit that subscribe button. We got a lot of content coming your guys' way, so do that. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button too. We certainly would appreciate it. Like, I'm not going to waste any more of your time. Besides, just one note. This video is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. If you sign up using our code COS or the link in the description, you get a 100% deposit match up to $100. Take advantage of it. It's free money. You can place those player prop parlays. They even have first pick insurance and all that stuff. Go check it out. We would appreciate if you use that code as well. Let's move into my player prop, though. It's a guy that's new, is playing his first career game in Philadelphia, A.J. Brown. I'm taking his over 5.5 receptions, -110 on DraftKings. Now, the newly acquired, obviously his former team, the Tennessee Titans, are the early game on Monday night, but he'll be playing in this later game. Technically, it's only like an hour and a half later, but let's talk about this game. I'm putting a unit on this. Now, A.J. Brown came out, and boy, did he have a day in week one. And while I don't expect the volume to be this, but if we get this volume, sign me up. 10 receptions on 13 targets. That was great. They obviously wanted to use their new acquisition, and they used him plenty. He got his money's worth. He probably had to take a couple ice baths after that game. But what I did like is that they weren't just using him and, oh, here's a couple screens. That's all you're getting. They were using him all facets of the game, whether it was, screens to go, 5-10 yards, see what he can do with the ball in his hands. Or if they were throwing a deep pass, they can get a 50-something yard catch. Or they were using him over the middle. They used him in all different areas of the field, and obviously he had a great rapport with his QB, Jalen Hurts. We saw all the things about them, working out over the offseason together, and it worked out because you look at that, and he did really well. Now we look at this Vikings defense. They come into this game, they had a great week one versus the Packers. Is their defense good? Is it bad? We don't really know because Packers stunk in week one. They stunk last year in week one and then turned it around. So we're not really sure too much about this Packers or this Vikings defense. So I'm going to lean more so the Vikings defense isn't as great as it might have looked in week one. And in their first home game at Philadelphia, I expect the Eagles to come out here and play pretty well. I expect them to want to get the ball to their star wide receiver. Now, we look at last week. Devontae Smith, where you at in APB? I imagine he gets the ball a little bit more. He had 4 targets. Goose egg. 0 receptions last week. So imagine they try to get Devontae Smith the ball. You don't really want a guy going many games without seeing a lot of catches. But we're only asking for 6 receptions here. I mean, this is a guy in A.J. Brown that they, like I said, they want to target him early and get him the ball pretty quickly. And we look at the Vikings. They don't really have the best corners in the league. Patrick Peterson, a guy I've noticed, he loves to play off coverage, doesn't want to get beat deep, so he's fine giving up those 10-yarders. And I think we'll see some slants where A.J. Brown, obviously a big physical receiver, can go up and make those catches. And while Jalen Hurts isn't the most accurate QB in the world, he can certainly get it within A.J. Brown's reach, and he can grab that ball and get it going. Now, since the start of last year, the Vikings haven't really changed their defense a whole lot since the start of 2021. 15 receivers have had 6+ receptions versus them. The likes of, Cooper Kupps, the Devontae Adams, those guys of the world all were able to get this done. You look at those 15 receivers, 11 of them had 7 or more receptions. So, had a little bit of wiggle room there. Some going into the double digits. I think A.J. Brown, obviously, he's a force. They're going to need to get him the ball. They're going to need him to move the field, to move the rock down the field. I mean, this is A.J. Brown, one of the best receivers, and this is his first game in Philadelphia. You know the fans, and if you know the Philadelphia fans, they're going to want to see A.J. Brown get the ball. They're going to get hyped up, and I think that's what they want, to get the crowd on their side. Like I said, Devontae Smith will get his, I think, on Monday night. He'll see his. Dallas Goedert will also play pretty decently, and you'll see that in a second. But I really do think A.J. Brown has a big day, over 5.5 receptions. Sign me up. Let's move on to my spread pick, and I'm going to be riding with the Eagles in this contest. -2.5, -110 on FanDuel. If you want to go with the money line, go for that. And I'm curious what you guys like in the comments. So let me know. I know some people are be on the Vikings, some people be on the Eagles. It's always a shootout in the comments. But let me know who you guys are liking, because I think people have fallen in love in the Minnesota Vikings after 1 week. I mean, people obviously love Kevin O'Connell. My Kevin O'Connell jersey sitting right over there as the New York Jets get a W in week 1 or week 2. What a sorry, Browns fans. All right, let's get back on track. Now, the Eagles' offense or defense in secondary, I think, is the difference in this matchup. That's why I like the Eagles more. Now, I think the Vikings defense played well last week versus the Packers. I don't think they're as talented as that. You look at this secondary for the Eagles, very good. James Bradbury, Darius Slay, C.J. Gardner-Johnson. 3 pretty good guys. I don't know if they've all made the Pro Bowl, but they all probably should make the Pro Bowl. But they're going to have their hands full with Justin Jefferson. We saw the Packers couldn't deal with Jay Jettas last week, and he was going all over the field against them. they obviously have that. They now at least have a game under their game film to watch. Oh, this is how they're using Justin Jefferson, try to take him away. And in the end, they can limit Justin Jefferson. His line's at 95.5. They're obviously expecting a pretty good game from Justin Jefferson. They can limit him and make the other playmakers beat him. I don't hate our chances with the Eagles winning this game and winning it and covering it the 3 points that we're going to need them to win by. I mean, Adam Thielen didn't really do a whole lot last week. KJ Osborne didn't do a whole lot. Dalvin Cook will still do his thing, but I think this Eagles team is better, more overall talented. Now, sure, they don't have Justin Jefferson. A.J. Brown's a good compliment, a good, kind of equivalent guy. He might not be Justin Jefferson, but still very good receiver. And the QBs, we've seen Kirk Cousins. I couldn't find the splits, but we know Kirk Cousins has never been a very good Monday night quarterback and just never been good in primetime. This could be another example of that. Maybe he's pushed that to the side. We also think about it. It's a rookie head coach, Kevin O'Connell. First career game on the road. A little bit easier to win in and play well at home against that struggling Packers defense, which had so many different moving pieces. Just kind of coming a new coach into this Vikings scheme in Kevin O'Connell. Now you're on the road, where we've seen the Vikings struggle over the past couple of years. I think the Eagles get this one done. I can see why people are betting the Vikings because obviously who doesn't want to bet Justin Jefferson, Dalvin Cook, and all those guys. But I think Jalen Hurts at the end of the day can make enough plays with his legs and also with his arm. That will be the difference here. We know the Philadelphia fans are absolutely wild and they're going to be going nuts. And I think people are going to overreact. They're going to look at the scores from week 1 and see, what the Philadelphia Eagles only beat the Lions by 3 and we've taken Green Bay. The Vikings beat Green Bay by 16 and the Eagles are favorites? That doesn't make any sense. People are going to keep betting the Vikings as the underdogs. I think the Eagles are favored here for a reason. I think the Eagles have a pretty good chance of getting it done. So I'm riding with the Eagles minus 2.5. That's my favorite spread pick. Obviously, let me know who you guys like in the comments down below. Finally, same game parlay time. We're going 25, 50, 100. You'll understand in a second. Stop with these guys. Dalvin Cook, 25 plus receiving yards. Dallas Goedert, 50 plus receiving yards, and A.J. Brown, 100 plus receiving yards, plus 1535. Sprinkle on this. Let's talk about these legs. Dalvin Cook over in receiving yards was almost my play. If you look at Dalvin Cook's lines, his receptions line is sitting at 2.5, but they got it juiced to like minus 190. So they really do think he's going to get 3 receptions. And who's to say Dalvin Cook can't do something with those receptions? Obviously, you're going to think about this secondary for the Eagles. They're going to try their best to take away Justin Jefferson. And if they do that, they're going to have to back up. Jay Jetta's running a lot of deep routes. Dalvin Cook could get some dump offs and, take one pass for 25 yards. We know Dalvin Cook. He's talented, good pass catcher, and he got, I think, 5 targets last week. So he certainly can get this done. Let's talk about Dallas Goedert, who I also think has a pretty good day. Goedert in week 1, I think he had 3 receptions on 4 targets for 60 yards. It was pretty good. And I think about this Vikings defense, they gave up like 36 yards to Tanyan, and I really like Dallas Goedert. He has a pretty good rapport with Jalen Hurts, and they didn't really target him deep down the field, but they get the ball in his hands and let him do his work. I mean, he's like a 6'6" tight end. He can move down the field. So if he can get the ball, he can easily advance it up the field against linebackers. We've seen Dallas Goedert have like 50-yard plays before. So Dallas Goedert, 50-plus receiving yards. Certainly, I think he's capable of getting that done. And then take us home, A.J. Brown, 100-plus receiving yards at plus. Well, I think this is like plus 280 odds on his own. His regular line 70.5. A.J. Brown, I've already talked about his receptions. And look, if he's getting a 6 receptions, he's got a chance to get 100 receiving yards in. His A.J. Brown, I mean, this is one of the best receivers the league has to offer. He's a guy that could go up. Like he said, last week had a 50-yard reception. Last week had like 160 yards. So while I don't necessarily think he gets, 160 again, asking for 100 plus is not crazy. A.J. Brown is that talented. Like I said, he could take one pass, take it the distance. That could knock down 70% of the yards we're going to need from him. So the fact we're getting plus 1535 on this game, I really do like it. I think both teams are pretty sound at their rush defense. So I think the receiving game and the passing game is where the money's going to be made in this one. Really like this one. I like it. Now let's move on to first touchdown score, and I'm sticking to Dallas Goedert. I'm sticking him at plus 1100. Now, there's a couple guys you could go with. You could go Jalen Hurts. Maybe he rushes it in. But I think Dallas Goedert has a chance. I just imagine, the Eagles get down to on the 3-yard line. The Vikings fully expecting either Boston Scott, Kenneth Gainwell, Miles Sanders, Jalen Hurts, one of those guys running it. They all get a rushing touchdown last week. I think they maybe do a rollout, and maybe Dallas Goedert's open in the corner of the end zone. I could see that happening. Or Dallas Goedert takes one from my 15 yards out and takes it into the end zone. I think Goedert's a pretty good guy. I think he got tackled on the 1 or 2 yard line last week. So maybe he's due a touchdown. He's at home. I think he has a pretty big game. So Dallas Goedert, I like you to score the first touchdown in this game. Plus 1100. Sign me up, Mr. Goedert. Now that's going to do it. Those are obviously my impulse plays. It's week 2. It's the end of week 2. That's going to end it off. So hopefully you guys had a profitable week 2. We did pretty good with spreads. Player props have been up and down, but that's, it's the first 2 weeks of the season. You're kind of just guessing at the moment. But I really do like this plays. Love the plays. Let me know your favorite plays down below in the comments. It's been Austin. I'm signing out. I'll see you guys back again on Wednesday for our best bets for week 3. It's going to be a doozy. We'll see you guys then. Peace out.